Wow. Hello guys, sorry I'm a bit late for the first meeting this morning. Lots of traffic on the road, but I made it to the living room, so all good. So what have we got on today? Oh god, that working from home thing is killing me. Well, I guess I've been pretty productive this morning, right? I think it's time for a little stretch. Let's go.
One thing we could all do with a little bit more of is work-life balance. Mathieu struggles with self-isolation. Despite appearances, he is married to his job. He can't bear to be separated from his laptop, so he has to work out how he can work out while he works. For many of us working from home, it has been an up and down roller coaster ride. Our limits have been stretched. Some days feeling upside down and round the wrong way, all the while trying to keep it all together. When all you want to do is just lie down and chill out. But unfortunately, doing fuck all for way too long is never going to work out. And very soon you're going to have to move and groove and find your balance. Let's get that moving and shaking on, and grab a mat and let's start our workout with a warm-up. Here we go. So let's maintain our structure but not take ourselves too seriously today. Remember to have fun. Starting with loosening up the shoulders, feet hip distance apart. I'm rotating one shoulder first in one direction 10 times and then the other direction 10 times and then alternating. Today I've got Matt here with me doing the exercises. This practice isn't dependent on a partner, but if you've got one at home, it's always fun to do it with them. This might be a friend, a partner, a child. Working out together can really relieve some of that stagnation that can happen when we're living together in self-isolation. Bring a little bit of warmth to the cold. Toe lifts, bring the feet together, shifting the weight from the heels into the toes as you float the heels off the ground. Hands on the hips, full body integration. Great warm up for the ankles. Find your balance for a moment on your toes, extend the hands up, squeeze the outer edges of the body into the center line, making this a full body integration exercise. Keep pushing down through the toes as you extend up through the fingertips. Combining the arms and the legs, rotating one arm in one direction, the other in the opposite, and lifting up onto the toes as the fingertips extend up and then dropping down onto the heels as the fingertips come down. So right hand comes behind the back, left hand comes forward, you lift up and then down. And after 10 rounds, change direction. Obviously, this is also a coordination and tempo exercise. Things we can never have enough of, whether we're integrating our practice into acrobatics or any other sport or dance or any other form of movement or even communication. Here we're just opening up through the chest, relaxing the hands, keep it loose, keep it playful, remembering how important play is to feel open in the body and relaxed in the mind. Okay, shoulder openers. Here we go. Make sure you do both sides. We've got two variations. The first one is, as you can see, we're taking hold of one elbow and drawing it in toward the center line. If that's comfortable, you can bring the hand that is on the elbow around to can't really see here properly, but take hold of the fingertips. Matt can't quite reach, so I'm going to help him, offering a little bit of pressure down and up, making sure that I keep communicating. I don't want to push too hard. You can also use a strap if you don't have a friend. As I said, make sure that you do the opposite side. Choose the best variation for you. Important preparation for handstands, that we have our shoulders open to keep our arms aligned with the torso. Time to shake out and warm up the wrists. We're about to move into some strength and conditioning work with push-ups and full body integration. Wrist rotations, moving out to in towards the chest to start with, taking 5 repetitions. And changing directions in, directing the movement out. 5 rotations. Opening the palms on the way out and closing the palms on the way in. Side bends. Interlock the hands above the head, first fingers together. Bring the feet together and then bend over to one side. Make sure that you press the foot of the opposite direction that you're moving in. Come back to center, over to the other side. Rib cage comes back and down in this hollow or dish shape to keep the spine straight. And move now in front of you, interlocking the hands into a spinal flexion, and then behind you into spinal extension. Garudasana arms, otherwise known as eagle arms, interlocking one elbow over the other and wrapping the palms, and then changing, bring the other arm on top this time, relaxing the neck, playing peekaboo with your partner, lifting the hands a little to deepen the stretch in between the scapula. You can see here that we're just holding it for a few moments, letting it go, shaking out the hands. Moving into the lower half of the body, swinging one leg as high as you can. So we're loosening up through the hip joint here, loosening up through the front and the back of the legs, obviously, as well as working on our balance. And once you've done one side, move to the other side. Matt's using the wall here. So if there's any issues with balance, or you want to increase your range of movement and not compromise your balance, then grab a wall and continue the exercise. Here we're opening the gate, so working to open the hip through external rotation. We're relaxing into the arms at the same time, making a full body movement out of the exercise. And then we're going to shake that out a little bit, have a moment, have a little scratch, and then start traveling with this movement. So we open the gate and use that foot that we opened the gate with to take the next step. Travel 3 steps and then change direction by opening the gate again. You can travel in whatever direction you want, depending on how much space you have. Shake it out again, jump up and down a little bit, get some rebound action happening, get some release action happening in the body. It's impossible to hold onto any stress while you're shaking. Very important, however, to hold onto your laptop when you're practicing mental flexibility. Mental flexibility being paramount in these uncertain times. When we are feeling like we are going a little bit mental. Push-ups are a great way to find mental stability through physical stability and body control. So we've got 4 variations here. The first set we're doing on the knees, so fingers facing forward, elbows in towards the rib cage for 5. Second variation, same thing, fingers facing forward, but elbows coming out to the side. So working the chest with the elbows out to the side, or the triceps with the elbows in. As you can see here, I've got the fingers in towards each other. Third variation. And I'm drawing the hips forward in line with the knees and the shoulders and continuing to move my body in one integrated movement. So the fourth variation and the most challenging, fingers facing in. Once again, hips in between the knees and the shoulders. This time we're shifting our weight a little forward to accommodate this internal rotation in the shoulders. Another amazing one for the triceps.
This is where I heal my hurts.
Option now to do the same 4 variations off the knees, or you can do another few rounds on the knees. You can see I'm helping Matt here by putting my hand on the parts of his back that he needs to fill out to create that full body integration and alignment. And now we're going to continue working through the repetitions. I'm off my knees and he's on his knees. Fingers are facing forward. We're moving as one integrated whole. Now the most challenging variation, fingers facing in towards your body. Matt's, as you can see, aren't quite round there just because of his shoulder and wrist flexibility. That's okay, just come as far as you can. He's still on the knees, I'm off the knees. Choose the variation that's right for you now and move through 5 repetitions, building up to 10. You can mix these up, all the different variations, and create your own sequence. Time to fly like a bird, moving from arms and full integration to spinal extension and activation of the back of the body, opening of the front of the body. Here we are, imagining that we're birds, a little bit like that cat, before interlocking our hands behind our back, squeezing our legs together like a mermaid tail and lifting up. Beautiful. Onto half bow pose. Bringing the right elbow underneath the right shoulder, leveling off the forearm directly underneath your shoulders, and take hold of the opposite foot in the left hand. We're coming from the arch side. Matt here is doing the first variation where the fingers are facing away from him. But as we drop deeper into the position, he's going to try and work into the progression that I'm doing. You can see I am internally rotating my shoulder, lifting the elbow up to the ceiling and swiveling the fingers to face forward. Here I can push down and encourage Matt to do so on that foot to open up the hip flexor a little deeper. Progression, coming onto that hand, pressing into both hands as we lift our bodies up off the ground. And then switch sides. Choose your variation. I'm going straight to the progression because I was comfortable there. Matt's going to stay on his forearm, his fingers facing away for his body. And then you can see he's working to swivel his fingers forward. So one step at a time. If you're comfortable with that exercise, we're going to go into full bow pose. Take hold of the pinky side this time and push the feet into the hands as you lift the chest. You can see from Matt's facial expression, bow pose is a very invigorating pose. I'll just quickly check for vital signs. I think he'll be okay.
Is a DJ.
Oops, not sure how Ryan slipped on in there, but here we are back in the studio. Oh, and yeah, it wouldn't be a fun session without a little bit of clumsiness from Matt. Thanks for keeping the giggles alive. Here we are lying on our backs, Getting ready for some core. So lifting alternate legs, one leg at a time. You can see Matt's is a little bit bent, that's fine, so is mine. We're working through the hamstrings as well as the core here, so opening to release the hamstrings and strengthen the core. Hands at either side. We're working through 10 repetitions and alternating on each side, one after the other. You can see that we're pointing the toes. It helps to engage the muscles from the hips all the way down through the knees into the tippy toes. So we've been working the transverse and rectus abdominis that lie along the front of the tummy. Now we'll work along the obliques that connect the front and back lower torso on the side. As you can see, we have our arms stretched out to the side. Our legs are moving as one piece, just like when we were mermaids, and we are turning the head in the opposite direction that the legs are going. Working coordination and timing if you're working with your partner. Counting can help you not crash into your partner, although that can be fun. 10 reps and then roll to opposite sides. Next up is satellite circles, my favorite. We're making little circles around each other's feet in one direction with our hands either side of the hips, and then we change direction. Here you have the options to extend the hands forward. I'm taking that, Matt's not, that's okay. Yeah, you're gonna feel this one. It's like sometimes I feel a bit like a pussycat. Oh, here we go. Working from home can feel like you're so close to your partner, but actually living in completely different worlds. Looking for ways to bridge the gap, working out with your partner will not only build physical and mental stability, but also relationship stability. Let's start by bridging this gap with some leg throws. Matt's holding onto my feet, which are his shoulder width apart, and I am tossing his feet in any which direction, and he needs to bounce back and recover from. You can see he's lifting up his hips a little bit here. That's the more advanced version, and so he's roasted. Feel free to stand on your partner, but make sure you have consent. If you are without a partner, then the option you can do is both legs together and just up and down. So you can hover the feet just above the ground and then extend them back to 90 degrees and do that 10 times. You can also try yourself working in toward the right direction and the left direction to add that extra oblique workout. You can see obviously we're getting the obliques, transverse and rectus abdominis here. And that's me, I'm done. Shoulder taps, another great relationship stabilizer as well as shoulder stabilizer. Here we are tapping the right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder, then right hand to partner's adjacent shoulder, left hand to partner's adjacent shoulder. If you're practicing solo, just cut the partner taps and continue to go right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. And just repeat this 10 times, 10 cycles. Option to practice another 10 repetitions on the knees or float the knees up off the ground with us. Same action with the arms. Squeeze the outer edges of the body into the center line, however, to maintain this full body integration position as stabilization is compromised. And it's not the only thing that may be compromised if you accidentally slap your partner, but then again, maybe not. London Bridge, another one of my favorite core exercises, a partner exercise. You can do this as a shoulder stand by yourself. Otherwise, here we are facing opposite each other with our hips next to each other. We're taking monkey grip at the hands, lifting up into a shoulder stand before swiveling our body to replace our partner's body. The legs come down when we reposition, come up to a right angle, and then lift as far up into that shoulder stand, balancing on the shoulders as you can, and continue in this way. If you do have lower back issues, you don't have to go up as high. The great thing about this exercise is we're working the front and the back body equally. So strengthening the front and the back of the torso and the legs. When you've finished, draw the knees into the chest and roll out. Shoulder stand variations with a leg workout, once again working the core as well. If you don't have a partner with you, you can do all of these exercises just as if they weren't there. So here we are cycling the bike. I love this because you can practice equal resistance, pressing equally into each other's points of contact at the feet and using that momentum to create strength and flexibility through the lower half of the body. After going forward and back 5 times each, find the feet, press through the feet to lift up the hips. You can see here I'm going a little higher than Matt. We could actually even come a little closer to each other. That's okay. And then from here, redistribute the weight from 2 feet to 1. Extending the foot that you leave into the air. Here we're working on hip stabilization and strength through the whole upper back and legs. Another full body integration exercise. Coming down to the ground to recalibrate. You can see here Matt doesn't really know what's happening, and so that's okay. We're finding our way pretty well even if your partner doesn't know. We're lifting up and down a couple of times, working the abs a little bit more. So this is a great exercise to focus on different parts of the body while in the same position. Taking hold underneath the hip bone to stabilize ourselves without our partner, and then 1 and 2 feet lifting us up into a shoulder stand. Squeezing the legs together, and then maybe you're able to come all the way over and hit the juggling clubs. There we go. It's fun working at home, isn't it? And as you come down, try not to crash down on your partner. There we go. Because it can remind you very much of that feeling of life crashing down all around you. And despite the fact we're all trying to prop ourselves up, we're also trying to recalibrate and step up and stabilize in our newfound position in life. All the time feeling like we're bending over backwards. Just lucky to have the support of others to bring us down to earth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please contribute via the link below and let me help you rise and shine. Rise and shine. Share with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.